All right, everybody. We are still in the kind of sea trial phase of getting the Paradise Trimaran ready to make the 110-mile or 170-kilometer trip back to 160, no, 170-kilometer trip back to Bantayan Island going that way. Today is a really nice day. The last test we did, it was the waves were almost 3 feet high, and today they're 6 inches high, seven, inches high. And again, in the area we're at here, this is a cove here, and we're in the shadow of that big point that sticks out there. That sticks way out, and then there's another cove on that side. But when you get out past that cove, then you get whatever the ocean's throwing at you, which today shouldn't be too bad. But our fuel is looking good. Still green, no brown water, little jelly bellies down in there. That looks good. I need to move that clip up to where that little groove is. We pulled the spark plugs out after we did our fuel air mixture just a little while ago, and they were about the color of that. This a little more light than this on this engine here, because these were brand new plugs, so they were actually really pretty. I would say a hair on the lean side, a hair. And so I may back the rich screw out a fourth of a turn, just to do a really light tweak on that one. This one over here, these plugs were blackish, not like it was rich, but not too rich. Now I've got them so where they are brown. I also have two new plugs here that actually I'm going to put in here. I'm going to put the new plugs in here because they got so much brown and carbon on and blackness on them, stains, whatever you want to call it. It's not really like, well, I mean, carbon is what's left after you burn. But anyway, they're still darkish brown, and you can't really get an excellent reading on the air fuel richer lean mixture. So I'm going to replace these. These are B8 HS-10 NGK plugs, and the 8 horsepower has I believe B7 HS-10 NGK plugs. The 7, normally if you're counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, the higher the number, you would think the hotter the plug would be. Well, with NGK, it's the opposite. A 7 is hotter than an 8. And a 6 is hotter than a 7. And you're not trying to get a hot plug or a cold plug. You're trying to get the correct plug. And an 8 is what the factory calls for here. Also found out what the gap is. So be sure you're gapping your plugs. Don't just buy them in a box and screw them in, because the ones I get, they're almost no gap at all. They're just way down. So I open them up. 1 millimeter or 40 thousandths of an inch is the factory recommended gap. So what I'm doing is I'm taking my stubby screwdriver that's about a millimeter thick, and I'm sticking it in there and wedging it till the blade slides into that. And I'm calling that 1 millimeter. The other thing I did too was I made all new hoses. You may see that on the video, but I bought the automotive grade hose. Here it is right here. It says Superior. I don't know if you can read that. Superior Fuel Oil Hose SAE J30 R6 5/16 WP 300 PSI, made in Thailand. Thailand makes a lot of automotive rubber stuff. They make tires, and they make fan belts, and they make hoses. So that seems to be a business Thailand likes to be in. Also have new fuel bulbs on here that I bought online. And I replaced all of the non-stainless clamps on here with stainless clamps, pure stainless. The band is stainless, the screw is stainless, and the little housing is stainless. So get a magnet. If they're telling you it's stainless, probably the band is, and this isn't, and it just rusts and falls apart in a few months. And it's like, well, they said it was stainless. Well, some of it is stainless, but that doesn't do you a bit of good unless all of it is stainless. So be sure to go with all stainless. Okay, so I've got my spark plugs in that bag there, that black bag. I've also, because we're getting out and the tide is a little higher now, as you may can see, my belly, it's up to my belly, my waist, I would say. I've also taken my tachometers out and hung them, wrapped them around here and hung them so I can see. I got one on each cylinder, got one induction wrapped around there and one induction, and they seem to be reading pretty close to what the engine speed theoretically should be for idle and stuff. So last time I ran it, that one's tachometer was out, and had it about half throttle, about 3,600 RPMs, and the red line on that's about 5 to 6 ish, and the same on this, 5 to 6 ish is the red line, 5,500, 6. They kind of give you like a little range in there. So that one we had about half speed, cruise control set on it with the vice grip, running it while we used this one to do the speed changes and steering. So that is where we're at. And I'm going to, like I said, I'm going to change the spark plug, put brand new spark plugs in there, and then hook up the fuel lines, pump the fuel into here, because on that one there, the fuel line we have, every time it sets just one night, the gas turns inside of the fuel line from green to brown, to a funky brown. And so I'm taking that one off. And this one here, I'm just putting a new one on just because it's shorter and I think it's the right length. I made the distance from the tank here to the bulb 2 feet, and the distance from the bulb to the engine 4 feet. So that's 6 feet overall, plus this little 4-inch bulb here. So 6'4" is what the length is, and I'm hoping that's right. And your boat is different because wherever you put your gas tank and wherever your engine is and all that stuff, and I'm hoping I got the measurement right because I didn't have anything to go by. I just thought this might work. It sounds right to me. So anyway, I will put the camera down. Let me dig in that black bag and get the spark plugs out, and then go pull them out of there. Oh, the other thing you didn't see, let me tell you about that, the foam. We are taking, honey, can you move these life jackets and stuff away from here so I can show them what we're doing with this foam? You know what pool noodles are, right? Yeah, they're the little things kids swim on it in the pool. Well, we bought some a long time ago for just people to swim on if we go out in the boat. Well, what we figured out, because water is coming between here, hitting the side, hitting the tarpaulin, going over and into the hull. And after about an hour or half an hour of driving in rough seas, 1 hour going down there in rough seas, and half an hour going down there and half an hour coming back and going with the current and waves, there's about 1.5 inches of water in the boat. Well, we got a 8-hour, 10-hour trip. So every hour, if you get 1 inch of water inside your boat, 10 hours, you got 10 inches of water. Well, of course, we could scoop it out, but you're just constantly scooping, and we don't want to deal with that. So we slit this here down one side, and then we're sliding it onto the edge of this. See right here? Sliding it on like this and sealing this gap between here and there, hoping the waves don't knock this foam thing out. Up there, we need to push it in some more, but it takes a little hustle, and some of these are getting close. See, right here, it goes in here fine because we got a gap here about almost 1 inch, and down here we got about less than 1 inch, maybe 3/4 or 5/8, and that's when it gets tight. And then you got to shove this thing on, and we couldn't shove it. We planned to just slide it on like that, like that, all the way down, but we couldn't, so we had to take and roll it in and just finger pinch it into there, and we got it in. Lindy got it in. Her hands are better than mine, and I'm working on the spark plugs too. So anyway, that's our new splash technique. Honey, where's the other pool noodle? Yeah, it goes here. Yeah, what we're doing a test on one hole. So we're sealing this one like we want to. And then we are, the other thing we're going to do, and I didn't explain this thing here, but what I'm going to do with this, I poke a couple holes in this, and then I slip it over where the fuel openings are. Openings. The brass is where the fuel goes in. This silver thing is just your clip and your guide, stainless steel thing. So, but it's open all the time. So I'm going to put a hole in here and slip it on there, and then that will cover that while I'm not connected to the fuel hose. Ta-da! How about that, folks? Might work. The other thing we're going to do is take this longer one here, but I'm going to, for demonstration purposes, honey, can you lift this up so I can slide this in? And because the water splashes on this side goes up under the tarpaulin and again into the boat. So now what we're going to do, we're going to put this here, and we're going to clip our clips on here, and this should go in here. See? You see it going in there? See? And we're going to try to make it so that this pull move is a little blocker here, so the water doesn't come up and over this tarpaulin and get into the hull. See? See? So we got it in here. We got stuffed in here. See that? See that? We're trying that trick. And of course, this is just a little short extra piece we have, but this is a 5-foot piece here. So it'll go from the front of the hull here back to about 5 feet, which I don't know how far that actually is going to be. Honey, can we stretch this out? Honey, you want to grab that? Stretch that out. You hold your end. Hold your end. Hold it up where the boat opens up. Okay, so we'll get back to here, okay? So that's pretty good, because see, this is a higher spot, and I'm sitting here, so, but still, that will hopefully be enough for our test. And what we're going to do today, we're going to test it. So every time we go out, we come back with at least an inch of water in the bottom of the hull. So we're sealing up this one. This is our test, and we're not sealing the center or the other hull, the outer hull there. And we're going to take it for a ride. Hour drive, roughly. We're going to back down to that point and back. And again, that's the way we go to Bantayan. So that's our new testing. Used to, we would drive out here where it's all calm and stuff, and go around those little ship things there and come back and just tool around here in the calm area at first. But now we're stepping up a notch and heading out to sea, basically, like we're going to really be out there and encounter conditions that we're really encountering. Yesterday, like I said, it was 3-foot waves, and the boat did okay, but again, a lot of water came in. So we are seeing if there's a way to get the water out. Now, I ordered 12 of these from, Shopee. That's like an Amazon here in the, Philippines. So order 12 of these, 5 feet long. So if this works out, we'll do all the holes with these, and then and that'll be our new that'll help us keep these holes dry, or drier, whatever, we don't know. And we also had water coming in between this crack here, see, and we stuffed these in here, and that slowed it down, but it didn't stop it, because yesterday, or the last time we went out, I could see the water coming, not flooding through here, but still it came through here, and it was kind of dribbling down when it would splash up here. And again, we're blocking the water from getting on top of our splash guard with that pull noodle, and so that may minimize the need for having these, but still, these are going to stay here, because that is a hole between the outside and the inside, and water definitely comes in there, or was, and we'll see how it does now. Okay, so anyway, back to spark plug. That's a meandering speech, wasn't it? So anyway, I'm gonna change the spark plugs there, and we'll be back, and I'll show you what those look like, and then we'll gap them with my eyeball screwdriver flat tip measuring device. I've got a feeler gauge, but I thought it was in my toolbox, because I have bought a little plastic toolbox I keep in the back of the car, and it wasn't in there. So I was going to actually use the real feeler gauge to get the right 1 millimeter 40 thousandths gap there, but don't have it. So anyway, spark plug time. Paradise out. What you doing up there, honey? Huh? So what are you doing? You're on YouTube. Why are you down like that? Because it's hot. Oh, okay. The sun's out, folks. And we haven't put our canopy on, our tarpaulin. So after we do this, after we take the boat out, get the welding of the zirk fittings on here, bring it back. We'll do testing with the 3 engines running, all 3 of them. And then after that, we'll put the tarpaulin on the top. And then we'll have some shade and stuff like that, improve our creature comfort. So Paradise, you know the plan, folks. You know the plan. Paradise out. Hey everybody, we're back in action here. I got that one to start. I got it just idle up a little bit. Honey, what's the RPMs on that one? RPM. So far we... Okay, that's good. So we're at 3,900 RPMs on the 15 horsepower. And the RPM here, that's upside down. Well, whenever I take my hand off, it goes back to high. So, and I got one hand on the camera. So we got up, honey, what was our top speed? Before top speed. 8 exactly? Oh, okay, so around 8 miles per hour. That was pretty close to a cruising speed. And with that one at, I think, 4,500 RPM, or 4,000, and this one here around 4,000 also. I need to change the prop on this one because it won't hit 5,000 RPM. So the prop has got too much pitch or the blade's too big. So I need to lighten up on the prop on the 30 horsepower to get the RPMs up to 5,000. So anyway, it's a beautiful day out here. Smooth as a little, I don't know, we got 6-inch waves, I guess, 7 inch. It's at 0.7 feet waves, but we're coming out around the point here, just like the other day, but this is smooth sailing. So let's see what we can do speed-wise. Honey, what's the speed? 5.5, just cruising here. And again, that's with 30 horsepower at 2,800 RPM. 2,800, we're doing 5.5. The front's coming up. Oh, the splashing. See our little foam thing? It's working. There's a little tiny bit of splashing going on, but here, before, it was just throwing water all on this side here, we didn't do the foam, see? But on this side we did, and you get a little bit there, a little bit, but all this back here, nothing at all. So I think it's working, and also on this side, we stuffed the green one between the tarpaulin and the side of the boat on the outside, and I think it's stopping because we don't have. That's it, and that's from me having wet feet and a wet bathing suit. So far we're doing good, and again the waves aren't bad, so we're not really having a problem. I'm going to kick this one up some. Maybe what are we at now? 3,000, almost 4,000 RPM now. And again, we got 7 miles per hour right now. They're both running about 4,000 RPM. 38, 70, 39. Yeah, close to 4,000. We're cruising at 7 miles per hour. And we don't have, oh yeah, see what happens here? You see the water all flashing up here? And we got none here. Virtually nothing. And on that side. of water, lots of water. So we can fix that. Okay, so anyway, we're cruising right now. We're basically going back to the same place we did yesterday, but it's just so much nicer day for being out on the boat. The last time we were out, the waves were about 3 foot high and choppy. It wasn't like a smooth rolling wave. It was a choppy rolling wave. It was still rolling some, but you know, choppy. So we are just doing all of our testing now. Continue. I put new spark plugs in the 15 horsepower just now. And I put new ones in here yesterday. I need to check this spark plugs in the 15 when we get back to see how they look. They should again be tan. That's a good air fuel ratio mixture. These are light tan. I meant to actually increase the richness on this one here. So when we get back, I'll do about a quarter turn here, and I'll see what that one looks like. This one could be a little more rich. The fuel bulbs that I made, like that, they didn't work. You can't get fuel through them. You squeeze them, and then they don't spring back. They don't suck the fuel in from the tank. They just set in a vacuum, and that doesn't work at all. So anyway, I had to switch back to the old fuel line. I'm going to change the hose on that one to keep the bubble, or the bulb. The bulbs seem to be working on these two fuel lines here, but my brand new bulbs that I bought, and I bought a bunch of them, I had maybe 6 of them, and I haven't got any of them to really work properly yet, so they may just be crappy bulbs that'll never work. Chinese, you know, buy them online, you know, shopping like Amazon. So anyway, nice homes out here on the beach. There's the lighthouse. I don't have a zoom or anything, so I don't know if you can really see that lighthouse very well. But this is basically the course we're going to take to get back to Bantayan Island. This one here. So we're just going to drive this. It's going to be, our first stop is going to be Bogo. The town of Bogo, about 60 miles north of here. So if we go 10 miles an hour, that'll be a 6-hour trip. And you can see mountains out there. It'll be about a 6-hour trip. We'll spend the night there. Her brother lives there. One of her brothers lives there, and her mother lives there. So what's the speed? 6.2, and we're running at 3,600 RPM with the 30, and still around. What's the RPM? Okay, 4250 on the 15. So we'll let him run harder than the 30. He should get better fuel economy, but what we may do is try to run them both in the 3,000 to 4,000 range for cruising. And again, once we get the Sumerado internal engine with 15 horsepower going, that's going to boost us a little bit more. So I'm guessing we can cruise at 10. I'm guessing maybe 8. Well, we can hit 8, but I'm pretty much full. Yeah, pretty much full throttle at 8 miles per hour with the 2 engines, and that one not at full. That one's at probably 3/4 throttle. So here we are. And the faster we go, the more water comes up through that side there. Depends on when we hit a wave or not. And again, these aren't big waves, so we're not really flooding the boat right now. But and the big waves, it was a lot of water. I mean, not coming in the boat, but just here between the hulls. But still, it shoots up under the tarpaulin and over and into the hull. So that's why we got water in the hull. And again here, nothing. A little
puddle from my boots. I mean, yeah, from my boots and my wet bathing suit, getting in and out, Lindy getting in and out. So I'm liking the pool noodle fix. It seems like it's doing good. And where it's coming in there, that's where the pool noodle was bent when they shipped it, and it kind of made a little fold there. So that was a problem. That's why the water, a little bit will splash through there, but it's not coming up under the tarpaulin. Huh? Oh yeah, there's a fishing boat out here. We'll see what he's doing. Maybe he's catching fish. Yeah, I don't know if you can see him on these little GoPro-like cameras. And mine's not a GoPro; it's an SJ cam. Yeah, it's just a little kind of a vertical cam instead of like a sideways camera. What's the speed? 5.6, and we're at 2,900 on the 30, and again we're 4,000 on that guy. So yeah, this guy's out here doing some fishing. I don't know how far we'll go. Well, 10 after 5 right now, so we should probably get back. We always spend a lot of time prepping the boat because our big fuel bolts didn't work. We had to siphon gas to add to our tanks. We had to put the full noodle in. And then, of course, you have to de-anchor and all that stuff, tie up the ropes and everything. So I think we're going to swing around. And again, we're going against the current, against the waves. In fact, almost directly against the current, directly against the waves. So we will, what I'm going to do when I make my U-turn, I'm going to do a power turn, because I got two engines. I'll leave that one running at 4,000 RPMs, and I'll idle this one back, and that'll make this U-turn. That'll make a nice turn, but I want to get away from that boat back there so I don't kind of turn into him or run over his fishing line. And there's some rain coming in over there and there, so... All right, folks, so we're going to make a U-turn now. I'm going to idle this thing back and watch this thing turn. Watch it. Because that engine runs, and it's on the outside, so it makes it turn left. And I don't even have to I don't have to steer. Steering is kind of hard because the wing there can actually hit the side, and it also causes some cavitation when you turn it sideways. The cavitation from that hole, the water isn't sliding into the blade, so it cavitates some, and it's hard to turn. So now I just use the throttle and power turn. See? Now I'm going 180 degrees back. In just the time that I talked there, we completely reversed course. Here we go again. Cranking her back up, and again now we're kind of going more with the current and sort of with the waves. When I'm coming this way, the waves look like it looked like a grid pattern way. Oh, I know, because we're going forward, it looks like the waves are coming to us, but they're not. We're just going over the waves. Okay, we're going to try a high-speed run with the current and with the waves. Let's see what we can do speed-wise. Speed, honey! We hit 8. Okay. I'm gonna back off now. We still hit 8. It seems like going with the current or without it, you almost get the same speed, and that's kind of weird. And of course, we're measuring speed over ground, so I'm not really seeing any advantage to going against or with the current. Maybe fuel economy might be better, and you get a smoother ride going with the current. But other than that, I don't see any advantage. Not in this boat. There's our wake back there. And again, we need to get our motor down in the water kind of deep, but because, well, I was going to set it down more. I think I'll set that one down more because when we were in the big waves, it would cavitate. When the nose of the boat went down in between waves, it would lift the back up, and that one would cavitate. So I may drop that one down an inch or two. He's pretty good. They're both kind of at the upper anti-cavitation plate. They seem to be right around there, shooting water out. So pretty good. This one here is running 3,380. Yeah, 30 right now. What's the speed, honey? Speed 6.3. So maybe we get another 2 or 3 tenths miles per hour going with the current. So who knows? Not much. Not much at all. There's an airplane there. Bantayan International Airport straight in front of us. Anyway, plane taking off. So we're going to cruise on back. Our speed test right now is 8, and again, if we can add that 15 horsepower and run it at about 1,800 RPM, now that's a direct drive engine there. So 1,800 RPM is the same speed the propeller's going, because it's crankshaft speed, and that's a direct drive. These have a gear ratio, I think maybe like 2 to 1. So when this thing's going 3,600, the propeller may only be going 1,800, which would be the same speed as the propeller on the inboard. And likewise with the 15. So anyway, and again, we get back, we'll do the water splash test, see how much water we got in the boat. We also, the other day, we didn't put the carabiners on the side, you know, locking down the tarpaulin on the side. So, what? Oh, there's a fisherman out here too, right over there at our 11 o'clock, 10 o'clock position, 10:30, 10 right now. So again, here's the point with the lighthouse. And look our speed. 6.5, and we're doing 3,500, 3,600 RPMs. We're still going 6. Kind of hanging around 6 no matter what RPMs we go. So, you know, that's the fastest we've got this one. The catamaran with the 30 horsepower, we got it up to 13 miles per hour, and it was planing at right around 12. 11-ish, 11.8, 12 miles per hour, it'd get up on plane. But then that was maxed out speed. If you're just cruising like this, it wouldn't go on plane. And we're probably running 7 miles an hour. Pretty close to what we're running here with the 2 engines. So, anyway, we're going to cruise on back. I'm going to kind of keep an eye on things, and we'll be back with more of my Paradise on Bantayan Island. Waves. Paradise out. Big mermaid smile here. All right, folks. The water in the boat test is about that much. Give this a little bit. See some there because before when the boat goes, the front's up and the back, so it all comes back here. But it was maybe an eighth of an inch or quarter of an inch. I don't know, because we put our pool noodles. See how we got that on there? See how it's on there like that?
See that? And that is effectively keeping the water from coming up and into the boat. Now, this hole, how about this hole? Honey, did we check this one? Unclip. This is our. Go ahead, unclip yours because I only got one hand to unclip mine with. Now I've got some slack. Okay, so this is the. Okay, lift it up. Right there. Back here, look at that, folks. We got a good inch and a half back here. See it? See it? Inch and a half back here because we didn't have the foam stuff blocking here. We got an inch and a half in the back of this one, the center hole, and it's also up there too. And over here, Lindy actually cleaned this hole out, started to sponge because that's naturally what we do, and she didn't know I was going to YouTube and show everybody how effective our little pool noodles splash seal is. But this one was here is about an inch and a half deep. We got water up here too, see, water up here. But again, when the boat drives, the front is up, and so all the water goes back here. So we had about an inch and a half here, about an eighth of an inch in the hole that we did the pool noodle seal on, and an inch and a half in the two holes, both of these holes, the center hole and this hole, that we did not have any pool noodle seal on. So it goes to show you that the pool noodle seal is working, folks. And again, we stuff one under here. See, in between the outside of the hole, we stick one in here, and then we be sure to clip these two. We clipped these this time, all of these. Normally we just leave them flapping, and it's really easy for the splash to come in, but we still got inch and a half, even though we were, doing had these clipped, so it didn't really help much. But what helped is the pool noodle. So again, I got 12 of those on order. They're blue, so they kind of go with the theme because the trampolines are going to sit on top of here too. But towards the end there, which I shut the camera off, we was coming back and giving it some gas, and man, it started just flooding in here. I mean, just buckets of water were flying in here, and you didn't get to see that. You got saw us when we were out there when it's kind of smooth sailing. We hit some wakes. It looked like wakes, but there were no ships out here. But there were wakes. We were hitting wakes, and there's no boats. So I don't know where the wakes came from, but there were definitely rows of wakes coming in sideways, and splashing, making a big splash. So anyway, you guys can see down here. I've never taken this camera underwater, but this is my prop shaft, and I've got it sealed up with a tire inner tube strip, and I've got also where my zirk fitting welding came off for the pump grease into this thing. So normally when I pump grease, I do put this inner tube with the hose clamps on here where the output comes out, because that seals that off. So because if you put your grease in here and pump it, of course this is the path of least resistance. It's so short it'll just come out there and be gone. But if I seal it off here, then that blocks it, and it pumps all the oil up, grease all the way up to where the output going into the back of the inboard 15 horsepower is. So anyway, we did okay. I'm not going to check the spark plugs right now because it's getting dark and we need to get everything wrapped up. But next time we come out, maybe tomorrow or the next day, we will pull those plugs and see how they're doing. And again, I need to reach in this one up slightly, so I'll probably back that screw out on the carburetor, the air-fuel ratio, maybe a quarter turn. I'm just doing minute stuff until I get a little bit darker tan color. And again, the prop on this thing needs to be a little bit smaller because we got too much weight trying to push this thing. The other thing I've got to do, I rebuilt these transom motor mounts, and I angled this, but I should have angled it more. because my hydrofoils are still pointing down slightly. And so I need to push this angle this away and get that hydrofoil to go from here to like here, so that it's really lifting the boat and shoving water into the prop. Because right now it's going like this, and it's creating a vacuum, and water has to come around and fill that void, and you get some cavitation. So that ain't good. And the same on that one. That one we're going to drop down maybe an inch or two. This one I think I'm going to leave here for now. Drop the mount down, and I need to angle this one too. I need to angle this one more than that one, but that one's still kind of lifting, digging the back down. This one's digging the back down way too much. So again, what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this back off, and then cut an angle into, maybe come up to here, maybe about a half an inch off of the bottom here to get more angle rake. And I can do more because you can adjust it out with this little shaft here if you need to go back out. If you need to lift it up, if it's too much, you can just adjust it here. You got 4 adjustments here, and I think I got 6 on that one or 5 on that one. So I can overdo it here and just adjust it, fine tune it there. So anyway, and we'll do that whenever we get the boat out of the water to re-weld the zirk fitting onto the propeller shaft. I'm going to put the camera underwater because it's supposed to take underwater shots to 15 feet. So wish me luck so I don't screw up my camera. Here we go, under. Did it. I went under. So the camera still appears to be working. However, the screen went, the little colors on the screen where it tells you your video is running, it disappeared. It just got black stripes across the top and bottom. So we'll see how this actually worked and if it really worked, and then we'll and we also have a clear case that we can put this in, that's a actual waterproof case if you want to go deeper than 5 meters deep, which is 15 feet. So anyway, got the anchor set out, front and rear, and we're going right into the current there. So we're nice, lined up nicely. And said the weather's coming in. I felt some sprinkles, so it's, what time is it? It is now getting darkish. So we know it's 6 o'clock. Yeah, 6 p.m. So I better quit yakking, and I better start helping get this thing buttoned up. So anyway, we'll be back with more from my videos from Bantayan Island. Let's see what I can get here. And again, the water, the tide's up to my ribs here, so it's nice. See how this goes. See if we can get that kind of that skylight thing, kind of a thing going. Whoa, look at that. Paradise out. Right, folks. It is time to go. Look at the sky in the background. Really nice. Give a nice shot here of the boat. Paradise out. My friends, my amigos.